Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dragon Alton. First of all, well, this is obviously going to be a channel update. I'm going to talk about a couple of new things and new additions on the channel, a new series, something that's been going on. But first of all, I'd like to apologise for the lack of content over the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so. I don't know exactly how much it's been. I've had a lot of stuff to do regarding uni. My PhD, I had stuff to write and seminars and research and etc, blah blah blah. None of it too interesting, but I did do something which, me from a couple of years ago wouldn't think possible, and that's I read an entire book in one evening, which contained 449 pages, and then I wrote a seminar, a presentation kind of thing based upon it, all in one evening. Juggernaut, that sounds like a serious problem with procrastination. Partially, yes. Partially, I also had other stuff to do during that week. And yeah, it's been a bit hectic, but I'm sort of at the tail end of that. Well, more or less, I think. I do have something next weekend, but I do also have some news regarding the channel, and that's what I mainly wanted to talk about before I get the whole book thing and bragging about it out of the way, which I mean, it is what it's going to sound like, but I'm just trying to get you an idea of what I've been doing. Anyways, so the game in the background is Elite Dangerous, and now let's get into the stuff about the channel. Obviously, I'm going to continue with Mass Effect and Stalker Anomaly or Escape from Pripyat, whichever you prefer. I do eventually want to move over to Escape from Pripyat 4.0 when I finish this character, but I've seen footage from 4.0. It's not that exciting, honestly. I feel like I've modified 3.0 enough to where it sort of surpasses 4.0 a little bit. I reckon the performance might be a little bit better on 4.0. The sort of next big update, but it won't be save game compatible, so at that point I might as well, I'm perfectly happy with 3.0. I don't think I need to move over to 4. And if there's some feature I really happen to like in 4, I can just move it over to 3.0 and it will work, no problem. Or at least I'll force it to work. I've done that with other mods, so I like to think I kind of know what I'm doing with the save files and load order and everything. So, anyways, let's move on to the big news, and that is that I have a new series ready to go. It's in Stellaris, it's in Star Trek, and I'm going to start uploading it probably very soon. I want to get a few more episodes done, because I want to have consistency, and I had a, like, I don't know a better way of putting this. Like, I want to upload the series, not at once, but, like, every episode, or one episode every day, right? Not every episode of the day, quite the opposite, right? So, one episode each day, and I want to sort of stick to that, and I want to sort of move the channel towards that kind of scheduling, because I think I genuinely can from this point on, in life in general, I reckon. And that's because I now have a somewhat stable job, or at least I have a contract for about 3 years with, well, what do you have to do? What's the job, Juggernaut? Not much. See, that's the beautiful part about it. The pay's not phenomenal, but it's not bad either. It's above average for the, it's above the average salary for my country, which is miserably low, globally speaking. Well, maybe not globally speaking, but when talking about Europe and the United States and sort of the Western world, it is miserably low, but at the same time, it's free money, basically. It's free real estate, right? The only sort of thing I have to do as part of the contract is that once a year I have to publish something for my university. I have to sort of stay at my PhD studies and contribute to the literary sciences of my country, etc., but it is a 3-year contract with the possibility of renewing it afterwards. And yes, you get health insurance, you get everything, like the whole package. Contributes towards your retirement and everything. It's like a full-time job, real contract and everything, except you don't have working hours. Although, I mean, technically I do, but I don't have anywhere to report. I just work from home, and I don't have to work for a set amount of hours a day. I just need to do one thing a year and be a PhD student and sort of work towards my PhD thesis. I don't even have to write my PhD thesis by the end of the contract. I just need to sort of keep working towards it, and yeah, occasionally I'll have meetings about this, I suppose, where people will go, are you really working on it? I'm like, yes, here's what I've done, and you know, it's okay, but that's a huge relief financially, spiritually, because yeah, it's a lot of free time, and I wanted to really touch upon that a little bit now that I've got the channel stuff out of the way. So yeah, the 2 series and then Stellaris next. And after that, I'll see what's what. But I wanted to touch upon that a little bit, because I've been sort of arguing with people back and forth over this. For me, that's ideal, right? Not a super high salary, but free time. I value my freedom and my free time way more than I value my salary. For me, it's like, I can have a salary that's 5 times as big as this one, but if I don't have the free time to go and spend it, why the hell am I working? Right? That's, like, for me, passive income and income like that, where you don't have to, you know, we don't have long hours to work and you just do stuff more as a hobby than, you know, a dedicated 9-to-5 job, for me, that is king. And even if it's a third of the money you would get from a regular job, for me, that is king. If you can make a living like that, if you can make a decent living like that, you know, pay the bills, food and everything, and have money on the side to spend on vacations, hobbies, video games, computer hardware, weapons, in my case, you know, shooting and hunting and stuff. If you can have that, ideal, right? For me, that is ideal. I don't need more to be happy. I'm perfectly, you know, content with that. Some people aren't like that. Some people, and for me, this was shocking, honestly, that they're like, oh no, if I don't have a 9-to-5 job, I can't live. Like, that's not a life for me. Really? I'm not disrespecting that attitude or anything. Fine, if you know, that's you do you. I respect that. We know we need 9-to-5 workers to function as an economy, as a country. Absolutely. But, like, in your ideal dream scenario, you would rather work than receive the same amount of money and not really work. Or, like, work on and off, work less. Why? That's so weird to me. I never really thought about it that way, but I saw, like, honest to God, the majority of people I know were like that. And they were like, oh, no, yeah, you need a job. Like, I don't know what I would do with my free time. I do? Got like a billion hobbies. So I got like 4 books to read. I got, you know, guns to buy and shoot, computer hardware to upgrade, and video games to play and everything. Like, come on, really? It's just weird to me. Again, I'm not dissing on it. I'm not disrespecting it or anything. It's a little bit weird to me. I never really thought about life, I guess, in that way. And I was kind of curious to see what you guys would say on the subject. But anyways, whichever side of the aisle you're on, you know, I wish you the best, and I wish you find happiness, because honestly, I did. This is kind of a dream scenario for me. Where I go after those 3 years is... that's a little bit more of an adventure, but, you know, in today's economy, a 3-year contract of secure income for 3 years anywhere in any sector is chef's kiss. Pretty good. Okay. So, that also means that I now have some, well, I don't have it yet because I haven't received my first salary yet. I think that's due in April. But it also means that now I have a bit of cash, and I'm going to invest some of it. I'm going to spend some, I'm going to waste some of it probably, depending on, you know, what you think on the subject, but I'm going to use some of it to upgrade my PC. I've upgraded stuff here and there. I've got a new monitor, as I've talked about and reviewed ever so slightly on the channel, but I'm going to get a new graphics card. I'm probably going to get a new processor. And the beautiful thing about it is that I don't really have much in the way of expenses. So most of my salary is, how do I put this, sort of free, in that I don't have to, you know, delegate like 2/3 of my salary to paying bills or to paying the food or for anything. Most of it, not all of it, but most of it is sort of money that's in the air that I can spend willy-nilly. Some of it does go to bills and food and stuff like that, but not a huge part of it. So the vast majority, or the majority of it, not the vast majority, but the majority of it is for nonsense, right? I mean, not literally nonsense, but is for like hobby stuff and enjoyment, shall we say? And that's beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna make myself extremely happy. I've been wanting to upgrade my PC for about 2 years, and I sort of gave up on that idea halfway through because of the GPU prices skyrocketing and everything. I was like, you know what, I don't really play that many brand new games where I need the highest FPS. Now there's a few games that I couldn't play because of performance issues, or rather I could, but I wanted to wait on them to get better performance. A lot of the games that I really enjoy are either old or not graphically intensive. So I was like, yeah, you know what, fine. Don't need the GPU yet, I'll wait for the prices to drop. Shockingly, the prices never dropped. Well, they did, but not to the levels of pre-Bitcoin explosion, and they probably never will. So at this point, I've resigned my fate. I'm just going to get a 3000 series Nvidia card. I don't think I'm going to go for AMD. They've kind of disappointed me in the past a little bit too much. Although I'm hearing great things about it, but 3000 series Nvidia. I'm now in this sort of weird conundrum where I'm like, well, maybe if I wait just a little bit longer for the 4000 series and get that one, maybe that'll be better. But honestly, they're going to be way more expensive. Much more importantly, they're going to be way more expensive in my country for a long while, for at least another few years. They're going to be double the price of the 3000 series. Our pricing is weird, don't ask. Importing is nigh on impossible, so, well, it's nigh on impossible for me. There are people that import and sell them cheaper, but there's always a risk there that you don't get a GPU, you get a brick. They do that, they're scams, you know, and there's always a risk with that. So if you want to buy from someone that's illegally importing it and selling it, you know, at a storefront, the prices are a lot higher here than in the US. I'll give you an example. I was looking at a 370. In the US, how much does that card go for around right now? Like $600, I think. I think some of the higher prices that I've seen on like Amazon and stuff are $600 for a 370. I think you cannot find one less than $1,000 in over here. So that's $400 for profit and import fees, tax, transportation, costs, and etc. etc. It is a lot, but you know, I think there's no real point in waiting anymore. It's going to set me up for a long while, and I'm going to do that. Also, CPU for fast rendering and stuff. This one's kind of showing its age a little bit, so yeah, get that too, and I'll be set. That's probably like this summer sort of time, because I get my first paycheck in April, so April, May, June. I don't think I'm getting anything in March. Or actually, no, I am. I'm getting a bit in March, but that's you know, I don't think that's enough for buying anything meaningful. But yeah, it's, you know, wonderful times ahead of me. I've kind of achieved my dream job. I've kind of achieved my ideal situation where I have money to spend at the end of every month for, you know, nerdy stuff, and at the same time don't have to worry about financially surviving and working long hours, or doing something I don't want to do, and working a job that I hate. I don't have to worry about that. I can just do what I like, you know, study literature, do YouTube, do you know, my own stuff on the side, hobbies and stuff, and I'm well good. You know, I'm very happy with the situation I'm in. So, with that said, I am also probably going to start upgrading the video recording quality. Right now, I think I'm at 1080p 60 FPS on most games. Sometimes I can't really get 60 FPS out of a game, so it's like 50 FPS, 40 FPS, something like that. Depends on what I'm recording. But for most of the stuff that I've recently recording, it's 1080p 60 FPS. I'm going to try and bump that to 1440p. And see how that goes. Obviously, it's going to take more resources to record, it's going to take more time to render, but again, I have a solution for that as well, which is going to be a bit of an investment, but there we go. You know, that's kind of the general idea. And yeah, there we go. That's the channel update. That's the most important stuff. As far as PhD studies are concerned, I mean, I'm really going into this completely carefree, partially because of the job now, partially because it doesn't feel like an obligation anymore. Like, university and master's degree felt like an obligation, felt like you have to do this within this time frame, or it's considered a failure, and you have to get good grades, and you have to get these grades in order to qualify for this, and, you know, so you don't have to take out student loans, and you don't have to pay back your loans, and, you know, you don't get in debt after finishing uni. If you do this, and this, you're going to get out of university for the minimum price, and that's what I did. And it, not going to lie, I'm not going to say that it wasn't stressful at times, it was, but at the same time it was like, it was an obligation, it was something to chase towards. PhD is now like, you've arrived at the summit, now you just need to sort of look around and you know, bask in the view a little bit. I will write that thesis eventually. I don't care if I give all my exams in June, or all my exams in April, or I take 2 or 3 years to do it, or 4 years to do it. I really don't care. I now have the money to sort of relax a little bit. But not really the money. I mean, it's not about money. It's more about that I no longer have expenses. That's the thing. It's no longer like the same amount of expenses. I don't have to go every day to another city to attend lectures and then come back. Fuel costs a hell of a lot, you know, just starting with that. So now it's like, you do most of the work from home, so now it's like, it's such a lot more relaxed of an environment. At the same time, it is PhD studies, so it is a little bit more serious, you know, you need to, you can't really mess things up in your PhD thesis, you need to, you know, read the proper stuff, and thoroughly research what you're talking about, you can't just spew nonsense. I mean, I say that, and then there are some PhD theses that I've read that are like, kind of the pure opposite of that, but never mind. Ideally speaking, and if you're a moral individual, you will properly research everything and, you know, get your job done as best as you can. And okay, that's lovely. More than willing to do that, and like I said, would much rather do this than work a 9-to-5 job with fixed hours and the obligation to go and check in somewhere and sit in an office or something like that every day, rather than just, you know, my room is my office. So yeah, there you go. That's lovely. Alright, there we go. That's about it. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That was the channel update, I reckon. I don't think there's much else to talk about. But if I do remember anything, I'll add it in post somewhere in between all the stuff that I've said thus far. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, once again, like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and we'll stay tuned with the rest of the content that I will be producing for the channel, because I've been slacking off a little bit every now and again, but, well, every now and again, last 2 weeks or so. So yeah, hopefully well, not hopefully, I will do my best to be consistent going forward and putting out video pretty much more or less every day. The weekends might be a little bit tough for that, but work days, definitely. Alright, that's about it. Get out of here. Have fun, take care, and bye-bye.